Earlier today, I shared a video. Like, I was in my car and I was like, yo, we really about to let life whoop our ass. We really about to yield to life happening to us. We're really about to yield to people leaving our lives. We're literally about to yield to people leaving our lives, situations ending, experiences ending. In another video, I shared that I was navigating 4 deaths, which include my relationship, which I didn't know when I was going to announce it or anything like that. But this is for somebody, because there are people in the background who I've been connecting to and speaking to. And I was like, when you are ascending, right? And my ebook, Ascension is a Separation Process, only $3.33. When I was writing that, like, my laugh for today was like, bro, you are living in a separation process because you are ascending. If all things are for a time, it's our attachment to those things that create the emotion. But when we release in love and we release in gratitude, we're able to get up faster. The goal isn't to rush the process or rush the experience, but it does mean to lean into it. And y'all know me. I know that I live a life that I have to teach from. I know that I live a life that I have to use as examples in my sermons, in my videos, in my ebooks, in my ascension journey, as I'm leading and guiding and supporting others who are also on the same journey. And so that looks like I wasn't going to go back to certain places that I frequented prior to being in this connection. And I explained to someone, in the background, like, the first time it took me 7 years. This time it took me 7 months. And I'm going to ascend so fast that it's going to take me 7 seconds. And in that, it's like, thank you for all of those things that are going through the Ouroboros death and rebirth cycle. Thank you for leaving my life, because now you're creating space for what I desire to receive. Now you're creating space for what I expect to come in. And so it's also thank you for these experiences, because now not only, people focus on, oh, these experiences showed me or taught me what I don't want, without considering what they taught you you do want, without showing you or loving on you in the sense that you do want that. And thank you for experiencing that. And thank you for getting me to a certain point to say, okay, these are things that I have to fine tune with my manifestation. These are the little things that I need, the little kinks that I need to work out. And so the other aspect is when it comes down to free will. Sometimes we leverage our free will to shrink ourselves instead of leveraging our free will to expand. And so understanding that some of the things that we are grieving are also illusions. They're not real, because we attach to the potential of people, places, things, experiences, and opportunities rather than looking at the 3D. And I had someone who is spiritual who I, admire and respect, and they're like, yo, you literally live in this high frequency. Like, you're so up here all the time that you have to come down. Like, y'all, I have to bring my consciousness down sometimes to look at the facts. Especially when it includes other people, not just in relationships, right? Not in just that relationship, but also in experiences. And so you're like, no, I don't want to look at the 3D, because the 3D is not my reality. And so if I'm living in a reality where I'm just absorbing knowledge for my ascension, then I'm essentially ignoring facts that need to be considered as I'm ascending, and that's okay. And there's a woman that I love and I admire and so much, and she always says she's not a loser. Like, she may have had losses in life, but she's not a loser. And I just love her so much. And I told her, like, I reference her here and there in my different videos, and I don't want to name her. I'm selfish. And she has her own notoriety, so, like, she don't need me. She don't need me. She know I love her and reverence her, and just stepping into my sovereignty even the more. And sometimes life gives you experiences to show you how far you've gotten. Life gives you these experiences. So that's why I know I'm like, the next time it's going to take me 7 seconds to figure this out. I'm not even giving myself 7 weeks, 7 days. No, I'm skipping all the way to 7 seconds. And then I'm going to I'm even going to transition into the point where it's 0.7 seconds. Like that I already know instinctively. If life is happening for us and not to us, these are the ways of alchemy. We can't say that we want different and better for our lives, but then when the opportunities present themselves for us to do different and be different and behave differently, we choose to live and behave in the same ways. That's not ascension. That's not elevation. And let's be clear, not everybody is here to ascend and elevate. Some people are here to learn a very specific lesson. And so I also had someone else tell me, and they were like, Amber, like, other people, like, that's normal for them. You're the weird. In my brain, I'm like, that don't make sense. Like, if you want if you want better, why wouldn't you choose better? If you want this, why wouldn't you choose that? It doesn't register in my mind, but it's not supposed to. Why? Because it's not my journey. The only person that I am obligated to understanding is myself. The only person that I am obligated in comforting is myself. The only person I am obligated to pull along on this journey is myself. And if I have to pull myself along, that means that I'm resisting something. So I should not be pulling myself anywhere. I should be rising. I should be elevating. And so that looks like surrendering. I had a conversation today with someone where it's like, they said they get it. They're like, you in this world, but not of this world. I didn't really yeah, I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world, which means I'm not looking at life situations the same way other people are looking at life situations. I'm looking at these life situations in ways that serve me. I'm looking at these life situations in these ways that it fuels me in my becoming, as it was 6:54 on the clock. I'm looking at my life experiences as lessons and classroom, and sometimes the lessons hurt when you doing that math and your mama or your daddy or whomever was like, Johnny had 3 apples, and you was so frustrated because you, like my mama says, you were growing dendrites. You still grow dendrites in life. The only difference between you as a child and an adult, you have the responsibility to say, I'm going to grow these dendrites or not. You have the responsibility to say, I'm going to live in denial or I'm going to live in acceptance. That's on you. That's on you. Everything that you know and don't know is all on you. Everything that you carry and don't carry is all on you. And I had an experience where it was like, it's going to take you X amount of time and it's going to take you this before that happens. And I started to lean into that, and I was like, no, I am powerful in my own life. My ashe, my will be done. The spirit realm, the universal laws, they serve me. They serve me. I surrender to my divinity, which means I'm ascending even faster and more and alchemizing. And someone was like, I can't wait to see how you alchemize this shit. Me too. I can't wait to see how I alchemize this too. Because by the 3D definition, I should not be like this. By 3D's definition, I should not be smiling. By 3D's definition, I should be in my bed eating ice cream. But in my 3D, I was trying to decide if I'm going to do this video before or after I went on my motorcycle, because the weather, it's warm outside. So I had to follow, surrender to my divinity, and come make this video, because I didn't even know I was going to tell y'all as much as I'm telling y'all. And there's another creator influencer that I followed for her jokes on spirituality, but I guess she had a whole relationship brand as well too, and her navigating her loss and that healing. And she's for those aligned people who are navigating. But she made a very good point where she said people are so attached to your life that they can't see the changes. She talks about recognizing things the first time. And this is not just in romantic, this is in life. This is with your family, with your friends, with work. And I tell people this when I'm doing career development. So, Rich Book, I do this in real life. Connect with me on LinkedIn, Amber Rich Book. But I tell people, when you are going on job interviews, you are interviewing that job just as much as they're interviewing you. So that means during your process, if recruiters or managers or people are unresponsive, and I'm talking about when you're doing the right thing, when you're doing the aligned thing. I'm not talking about people who be harassing and saying follow me and harassing. That's a whole nother thing on recruiting. I'm talking about when you're doing your due diligence and you keep getting runarounds, or you don't, or they're not on top of their stuff. That is an insight into what you may experience in that environment. People, places, things, experiences, and situations show you the first time. If I reflect back on before I even made a decision to say yes, there were moments. And so in those moments, in hindsight, I'm like, oh, you were second guessing yourself because of what you wanted. And so when we second guess ourselves instead of doing our own due diligence on ourselves, and we're putting the burden of accountability for everything on us instead of looking objectively and accepting and discerning right then and there. Because sometimes our spirit will say yes just so that we can go on the journey and have the experience. Because I'll be like, ancestors, why would y'all let me go through all of that? Why would you let me experience that just for me to end up right here where I was before? Because they're like, you were not the same person you were before. This was a lesson for you to learn. And it don't matter how you tried to flip it, switch it, bop it, sock it, all of that. Every way which I turn, it's like it was a lesson for you. Every which way. And I'm like, every which way, over there. It was like, it was a lesson for you. And I'm grateful for that. Now, on to the next lesson, right? On to the next lesson, which is sovereignty, choosing yourself, coming back, rising, ascending, still showing up for yourself, loving on yourself. And there's no love lost. Neutrality. We accept, we receive, we send love, we release in love. That's all it is. So, yeah, I hope this one helps somebody today, because I love y'all. Rich lifers. Everything happens for us, not to us. If you have not seen my TED Talk, go ahead and type in the search bar Amber Rich book, TEDx Talks. Check me out. Align to me. Tap into the Rich Life digital library, where I share some meaningful resources to help you on your ascension process. Grab Ascension is a separation process, so that you can understand that this is what you are calling into your life. You're asking for this growth experience. And we know, I was saying yesterday, I was like, dang, I'm really woo-woo. Like, I'm really one of them weird woo-woo people. And people who are normal, I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? While they're looking at me like, what is wrong with you? So life happens for us and not to us. Always for our benefit and never to our detriment. That's a bar from my TEDx talk. Life happens for us and not to us. I love you. And the irony, right, is that all hell broke loose in my life after that TED talk. I love y'all.